the knock that shattered solitude. In the pouring rain of a forgotten autumn evening, a tiny fist pounded against the towering oak door of the sprawling mansion, each thud a desperate heartbeat echoing through the empty halls. The man inside, Elias Hawthorne, the reclusive billionaire whose name graced skyscrapers and scandals, froze mid-sip of his scotch, his reflection in the floor-to-ceiling windows a ghost of a life built on fortunes and failures. The door creaked open to reveal a girl no older than 8, drenched and shivering, her wide eyes brimming with tears that cut rivers down her mud-streaked cheeks. "Mister," she sobbed, her voice a fragile thread in the storm. "Please, help my mom. She's dying. I don't know what else to do." In that instant, the world Elias had armored himself against cracked wide open, and for the first time in decades, his heart, long buried under layers of grief and gold, stirred with a warmth he thought lost forever. The rain hammered relentlessly against the mansion's slate roof, a symphony of sorrow that seemed to mock Elias Hawthorne's carefully constructed isolation. At 52, he was a titan of tech, his algorithms powering the digital empires that connected billions. Yet he remained profoundly alone, a man whose wife had slipped away in a car crash 15 years prior, leaving him with a void no amount of wealth could fill. His days blurred into nights of boardroom battles and solitary dinners, the mansion on the outskirts of Willow Creek a fortress against the world's chaos. Tonight, that chaos had breached his gates in the form of little Mia Reynolds. Elias knelt slowly, his tailored suit soaking through as he met her gaze. Her brown curls clung to her forehead like wilted vines, and in her small hands, she clutched a crumpled photo of a woman. Pale, smiling faintly, tubes snaking from her arms in what looked like a hospital snapshot. "Where is she?" he asked, his voice rough from disuse, surprise etching lines deeper into his face. "Down the hill," Mia whispered, pointing a trembling finger toward the shadowed tree line beyond his estate. "In our trailer. She can't breathe right, and the ambulance won't come, 'cause we owe money. Please, mister. She's all I got." Elias's mind raced. A flicker of his late wife, Elena, flashed before him, her final days in that sterile ICU room, her hand slipping from his as monitors wailed. He could turn away. Security protocols demanded it. But something in Mia's eyes, raw and unfiltered, pierced him. Without a word, he scooped her up, her slight weight nothing against his broad frame, and carried her inside. The grand foyer, with its marble floors and crystal chandelier, swallowed them like an indifferent giant. He barked orders into his phone. "Ambulance to the east gate, now. And get Dr. Harlan on the line." As Mia huddled on a velvet chaise, wrapped in a cashmere throw that cost more than her family's yearly rent, Elias paced. Poverty wasn't abstract to him. He'd clawed out of it himself, orphaned young in the same Rust Belt town where Willow Creek's trailers squatted like forgotten dreams. But success had armored him, turning empathy into a liability. Now, as paramedics rushed through the rain to retrieve Sarah Reynolds, Mia's mother, a single parent battling emphysema from years in a smoke-choked factory, Elias felt the armor crack. Sarah arrived on a stretcher, her breath's ragged whistles, her eyes fluttering open to lock on her daughter. "Mia, baby, I'm sorry," she rasped, her voice a ghost of the vibrant woman who'd once sung lullabies in a diner booth. At 38, grief had aged her prematurely. Her husband had abandoned them 5 years ago for a better life in the city, leaving debts that chained her to dead-end jobs. Isolation wrapped around her like the oxygen mask now clamped over her face. Friends faded, family scattered, and pride kept her from seeking aid until her lungs rebelled. Elias watched from the shadows of the hallway as Dr. Harlan, his private physician, assessed her in the guest suite converted to an impromptu medical bay. "Advanced COPD," Harlan murmured. "She needs immediate intervention, steroids, oxygen therapy, possibly a transplant list. But the real issue is access. Her insurance lapsed months ago." The words hung heavy. Elias could fix this. A check, a call, barriers would vanish. But as Mia curled beside her mother's bed, whispering promises of pancakes and park swings, he realized money alone wouldn't mend the fractures. "I'll cover it," he said quietly, stepping into the light. "Everything. Hospital, meds, whatever she needs." Sarah's eyes widened, tears spilling. "Why? You don't know us." Elias hesitated, the vulnerability foreign. Because I know what it's like to lose everything. And no kid should watch that happen. Over the next days, as Sarah stabilized in the mansion's care, monitors beeping softly, nurses tending like guardian angels, Mia explored the echoing halls with wide-eyed wonder. Elias found himself drawn to her chatter, her drawings of superhero doctors taped to his office door. One evening, as thunder rumbled anew, she knocked on his study door, a plate of lopsided cookies in hand, baked with the cook's help, flour dusting her nose. "For you, Mr. Elias. 'Cause you saved Mommy." He took one, the warmth seeping into his palm. "Call me Elias." And, "Thank you." It was a small exchange, but in that bite of burnt-edged sweetness, a seed of connection took root. For the first time, the mansion felt less like a tomb and more like a home, tentative, fragile, alive with the possibility of kindness. Yet struggles lingered. Sarah, discharged but weak, grappled with pride's sharp edges. "We can't stay here forever," she told Elias one afternoon in the sunlit conservatory, Mia napping nearby. "This is charity, and it breaks me." Her voice cracked, grief for the life she'd lost, to abandonment, to illness, bubbling up. Elias nodded, understanding isolation's bite. "It's not charity. It's a chance. For both of us." As weeks blurred, Mia's laughter echoed through rooms long silent. She coaxed Elias into reading bedtime stories, her head on his shoulder, and he shared fragments of Elena, her love for stargazing, the way she'd dance in the kitchen. In return, Sarah's quiet strength inspired him. She volunteered in the estate's gardens, her hands coaxing roses from thorny soil, a metaphor for her own resilience. Poverty's shadow loomed, bills settled, but emotional debts ran deeper. Mia's nightmares of abandonment woke them all, her cries a reminder that healing was a shared labor. One crisp morning, as golden leaves swirled outside, Elias arranged for Sarah's specialist appointment in the city. Driving them himself, his sleek sedan a bubble of luxury amid the world's grit, he felt the transformative pull of generosity. It wasn't just saving a life, it was reclaiming his own. Mia's small hand in his, Sarah's grateful glance. These were threads weaving isolation into intimacy. But the circle of kindness was only beginning to turn, its full arc hidden in the horizon's haze. Winter crept into Willow Creek like a hesitant guest, frosting the mansion's windows with delicate lace while inside, the air hummed with tentative warmth. Sarah Reynolds had blossomed under the care, her breath steadier, color returning to her cheeks as aggressive treatments chipped away at the emphysema's grip. Yet the social chasms of their pasts yawned wide. Her abandonment scars festered in quiet moments, whispers of not enough echoing from her ex-husband's ghost. Elias's grief, a silent companion, stirred anew with every glimpse of Mia's trusting smile, reminding him of the daughter he'd never held. Isolation bound them still, but kindness, that unexpected generosity, had forged a bridge, wobbly but widening. Mia's presence was the catalyst, her boundless curiosity a balm to their wounds. At 9 now, her birthday marked by Elias's awkward but heartfelt cake-baking attempt, chocolate-frosted chaos that left the kitchen in ruins, she navigated their worlds with childlike grace. "Mommy says you're like a wizard," she told Elias one snowy afternoon, as they built a fort from silk drapes in the library. "You make bad things go poof." He chuckled, the sound rusty, but her words lingered. Poverty had taught Mia resilience, mending clothes with safety pins, rationing meals, but here, abundance taught hope. Still, challenges nipped at their heels. Sarah's therapy sessions unearthed buried grief, sessions where she wept for the husband who'd vanished with their savings, leaving her to shield Mia from the void. Elias, too, faced his demons. Boardroom vultures circled, press sniffing at rumors of his mysterious guests, threatening the sanctuary he'd built. One evening, as Sarah joined him for tea in the study, a ritual born of shared silences, he confessed, "I built this empire to outrun the pain. Elena, she was my anchor. After the accident, I shut everyone out. Thought wealth would fill the hole." His voice broke, the admission of vulnerability he'd armored against for years. Sarah reached across the table, her touch light. "I get it. When he left, I felt like half a person. But Mia, she's my full circle. And you've given us more than money. You've given us family." Her eyes, once dulled by exhaustion, sparkled with unshed tears. In that moment, the act of compassion he'd extended months ago rippled back, not in grand gestures, but in the quiet alchemy of connection. They talked late into the night, stories of lost dreams, of factory shifts and startup failures. Each revelation a step from isolation toward belonging. But Hope's path twisted with struggle. A brutal cold snap hit, and Sarah's health faltered. A flare-up landed her back in the medical suite, monitors beeping like accusatory heartbeats. Mia, pale and withdrawn, retreated into herself, her drawings turning somber, stick figures huddled against storms. What if she goes away like Daddy did? She whispered to Elias one midnight, curled in his lap by the fire. He held her, his own grief surfacing like a tide. She won't. And even if, we'll face it together. You're not alone anymore. In the crisis, kindness circled unexpectedly. Sarah, Betterton but fierce, noticed Elias's fraying edges, the way his hands shook signing contracts, the loneliness etched in his posture. From her recovery, she pinned letters to his board, her words grounded in the authenticity he'd lost, testimonials of a man whose heart outshone his headlines. He's not just a billionaire, she wrote. He's human, flawed, generous, worth fighting for. Mia, too, acted in her small way. She adopted his dusty photo of Elena, placing fresh daisies beside it daily, murmuring, "You're not forgotten, Mrs. Elena. We see you." As spring thawed the grounds, Sarah's strength returned, stronger, her lungs cooperating under the regimen Elias funded without question. The full circle revealed itself in a sun-drenched garden party. Mia insisting on inviting the town's overlooked souls, the diner waitress who'd slipped them free coffee, the neighbor who'd shared hand-me-downs. Elias, once a shadow, stood among them, toasting not to fortunes, but to the quiet heroes who knock on doors and change everything. Laughter mingled with tears as Sarah pulled him aside. "You saved us," she said, "but we saved you too. From the inside out." The transformative power unfolded. Poverty's chains loosened not just through checks, but through shared suppers where Mia's giggles bridged generations. Abandonment's sting dulled in late-night confessions. Grief, once a solitary storm, became a communal shelter. Elias, forever altered, launched a foundation, Reynolds Hawthorne Aid, for single parents in crisis, Sarah as its voice, her story the spark. Mia, blooming like the roses she'd planted, dreamed aloud of helping knockers one day. In the story's hush, as fireflies danced that final evening, Elias watched his makeshift family, Sarah's hand in his, Mia twirling between them, and felt the void fill, not with gold, but with the irreplaceable glow of love reclaimed. Kindness, it turned out, was no small act. It was a revolution, one tear-streaked knock at a time. In a world quick to build walls, remember that the simplest knock can open doors to healing, proving that true wealth lies in the hearts we touch and the humanity we reclaim together. Moral of the story: a single act of compassion can unravel isolation's knots, weaving strangers into family and reminding us that kindness, once given, returns transformed to light the darkest corners of the soul.